Hi, shipmates. Wow,
What?
you've lost weight. Does this bring fear to your heart that when you go and see your family this holiday season, either for Hanukkah or Christmas or New Year's, that you're going to run into family and friends you haven't seen for a long time who may not know that you're on a GLP-1 and they haven't seen you since you've lost a bunch of weight? Are you worried when they say, wow, have you lost a bunch of weight? What your response is going to be?
I think you should say you're cheating.
That's the big fear. There are a lot. I've seen it myself. I've seen it on social media where there's been bashing of people who are on GLP-1s. And they say things like, they're cheating or they're doing it the easy way. I can barely see you. Small screen. Okay, Paula, what I'd like you to try, you're probably seeing me right now on the short shelf. We're trying something new that's being offered. See, something new
Just
that's being
there
offered on I'm trying to see which direction I'm supposed to go.
for them. So you're in the middle over here and you
Okay.
go over there.
All right. Um, I'm trying to see uh, if I can go live in two places at once. I use a special company called StreamYard, a StreamYard app, and it just started this week and said, "Hey, here's something new that you can do. You can go live vertically on the short shelf and at the same time as going live where you normally go live and going live horizontal." So for all my shipmates who's used to seeing me horizontal, if you go to my Anchor Moments page, you'll be able to and click on live. I think that's where you'll click on. And when I did an Anchor Moments post, and in the post, the one I used was the horizontal one. But if I can go vertically in on the short shelf, then we can find some new shipmates there too. And so anyway, I was just going to give it a shot today. I've never done this before of doing the two at once, but we're going to give it a shot today and hope that we can help a lot of people. Um, you are all very small, can't see you. Aw, but you have a gorgeous eye. Oh goodness. It really is. I don't know. It was something new that I wanted to try to see. So we'll have to uh figure figure it all out. Is that on the regular one, Jeff? I think that one, I wonder if that's the short shelf. Jeff's trying to show me by holding up his camera. Hopefully, is anyone out there? Are they able to see a big screen of me where I'm covering up the whole screen and I'm horizontal, where you can see me and Jeff? You can see a whole bunch of my living room and not just my head or my eyeball. If you can, please let us know. Uh, I'm here on the horizontal now. How's it going, Black Squirrel? Can you see everything just like you normally do? Just like everything's all the same? Hopefully that's the case. All right, so back to the story. Uh, for a lot of us, it's a little bit nerve-wracking to run into some acquaintances and family members that we haven't seen in a long time, and they'll be able to tell that you've lost a lot of weight. And it's hard sometimes thinking, if they ask me if I'm taking a GLP-1, am I going to tell them? Or am I going to just keep that to myself? How am I going to respond? And so that is part of the topic today because it is if you're watching on replay, we are today is Monday, December 22nd. So it is the week that my friends who are doing Hanukkah, it's probably towards the end of Hanukkah, but still. And for all my Christian friends, it's the week of Christmas. And then for all of us, next week is New Year's. And there's a lot of New Year's gatherings where you get together with some people that you haven't seen in a long time. And for those of us taking a GLP-1, a bunch of us don't look the same as we used to. And it might be a surprise for people that we're running into that we haven't seen for a long time. And so we need to think about how do we want to respond to that? Um, okay, good. Black squirrel seeing the horizontal one, so that's working too. Great. Thank you, Black Squirrel, for letting me know. So, um, this is alive, and I'm so glad I have a bunch of shipmates that are putting some comments in, and I'll be sharing your thoughts. I have a few different thoughts on this topic. You may think, oh, Gina's on YouTube. So everybody in her life knows that she's taking a GLP-1 and that she's on Mounjaro and that she's lost 50 pounds because she talks about it every week on Mondays. Actually, that's not true. I do talk about it. I'm going to be taking my 102nd shot today. So I have over 100 videos because every week I do my shot live. But I will tell you, when I first decided to give myself my shot, my very first shot, number one, I was scared to death because I had heard horrible things that who likes getting the flu and throwing up and stuff? Me. And I was afraid, uh-oh, what if this medicine makes me throw up? I hate throwing up. That would be horrible. I'd rather be fat than to throw up every day. Uh, there was all kinds of things that I was worried about because when you listen to what the side effects could be, I was worried, oh my gosh, what if I have, those side effects? And so I was scared to start it. And I was deathly afraid of needles. So I was afraid to give myself my first shot.
Gina,
Yeah.
if they want to be active in the comments, it has to be in the horizontal landscape version. The chat isn't together in both.
Oh, okay. So if they want to put on the chat, then no.
So that's a problem.
Okay. So when they're on vertical, they can't write in the chat. There's no chat for them to write in when they watch it on the short shelf. Okay. We're finding it all out. We might not ever do this again. I don't know. Jeff gets very worried when I try something new, so he's panicking a little bit. But he is my tech support. But I'm willing to try new things. And just like with Manjaro, I thought, what if Manjaro could be the medication that could make a difference in my life? And so I thought about that when I was holding my pen for the first time, trying to decide if I was going to give myself the medication. And then I realized, if it's terrible and I have the horrible side effects, I don't have to keep taking it. I can stop. But I got to at least give it a try. Just like trying the short shelf while doing the vertical up and down, as well as going horizontal today. I won't know if I like going in two places at once unless I give it a shot. And I felt the same way about this. I thought, I can try it. If I don't like it, then I'll stop taking it. But I want to at least give it a shot, especially since my doctor highly, highly, highly recommended that I try it because my type 2 diabetes, my A1C was starting to creep up again. And when I first got diagnosed, my A1C was a 10.2, which is in the dangerous level. You can lose kidneys, You can lose your limbs, you can lose your eyesight. So many horrible things can happen with you when your blood sugar is out of control and you have diabetes. And so my doctor was very concerned, and he heard wonderful things about Manjaro and really wanted me to at least give it a try. And once my insurance covered it, which was over a year later after my doctor, because my doctor prescribed it to me when it first came out. He was like, Gina, you should try this. In the trials, people with type 2 diabetes, a lot of them were losing like 50 pounds. And I remember thinking, 50 pounds, that would be a miracle. I've never lost 50 pounds before, a full 50. And but my insurance didn't cover it the first year. It would have been like $1,400 a month, and we couldn't afford that. So I didn't do it the first year. But the second year, when I found out that it was covered for me in January 10th of 2024, I went into my bathroom and I held the shot. And it took me about an hour to get up the nerve to take that first shot. And my husband, Jeff, he had had bladder cancer surgery on January 3rd. So just 7 days before that, he was still having a catheter in. And I remember calling to him from the bathroom when he was in the living room. And I was like, Jeff, come here. I want you to videotape me taking my first shot. And Jeff was like, really? Can't we do this another time? You're going to take one every week. And I said, oh, Jeff, but there's only one first time. And I knew there'd be somebody in the world who also is scared of taking shots and scared of needles. And I thought, if I can make at least one person in the world who's scared right now, that's scared just like me, be able to take their shot, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it online, and I'll let Jeff post it. So Jeff did that first video of me taking my shot, and he put it up. But I will tell you, I didn't share it on Facebook. None of my friends knew, and I know billions of people watch YouTube, and so it'd be hard, probably even for one of my friends, someone who knows me, to actually see the video. Yes, Jeff?
I think we should cut it. We should stop and we should start over. This
Why?
is not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know what?
People can't see their own comments, or the place where the comments are is
They can't see it
gone.
even when they
It's
watch
zoomed into something else.
horizontal. Even with the horizontal, you can't see the comments. We have Sandy Murphy in the house, and Sandy even gave us a super chat. Thank you so much, Sandy. I appreciate that and appreciate you so much. Can you guys? So Manjaro Journey with Pam says the vertical is very close up, and she didn't know there was two. It just started this week where we could do it two. Manjaro Journey with Pam says, oh, I like horizontal better, and she's on horizontal. I don't even know for sure how to stop the vertical. We're just going to finish it through. And, Jeff, if it's really awful, I'll never do it again, I promise. But let's just give it a one-time shot all the way through and see. And then, but I won't do it again if it's awful. If it's awful. But we'll just figure it out. So if you're seeing me and all you can see is my head, and you can't see anything else, and it's black on the top and black on the bottom, you're on the short shelf, and it's blurry there too. Oh, good grief. It really is awful, isn't it? All right. Well, this is a one and done. But switch over, go back to if you go to my Anchor Moments YouTube channel, all you have to do in search, put Anchor Moments, and I will show up. And when you're on my Anchor Moments page under live, you can click and you'll have my horizontal.
Also participate chat and see people.
So okay. Pam, who's now watching me, Grant says, hey, Pam, yeah, the other version helps with phone replays. Vertical is close up. It's really zoomed in. Can't see Jeff. Well, that's because Jeff's not in the picture.
Well,
he's a nervous Nelly, and he's like very nervous that this isn't going to work.
Well, I wasn't in the picture anyway, so.
Oh, wow. It's mostly just my eyeballs and my forehead. How funny.
Or just your forehead.
Oh, goodness. And but I see words. Oh wait, shoot. I just flipped it. Flipped back down. I'm sorry. This stresses Jeff out to the hilt because he likes to make everything perfect for me. Just go over to the horizontal. Just go over to the horizontal. Um, and this anyway. Let's see. And if you want to do the comments, I think the comments work best in the horizontal, I think is the way that it always is. And it's just the vertical that's not as much fun and is harder to do the words. Um, but anyway, oh, and thanks. Uh Paula says you do have beautiful eyes and your head is really big. Okay, so I think that's in the vertical part. So sorry about that. It was just worth a shot, but I don't know how to turn one off and just leave it with the one that we have, and then we'd have to start all over again. So I'm just gonna keep on going here. But when I first gave myself my first shot and I put that video on YouTube, I didn't worry that my friends and family would see it. I figured they probably wouldn't because there's billions of people on YouTube, and YouTube sends things out to people who are searching for that information. So unless I had a friend or family member who was interested in Manjaro, they wouldn't see it anyway. But I knew there'd be somebody somewhere in the world who's nervous about needles who would really get a benefit to know that there was another friend out there, someone out there also nervous about it, and see what the reaction of what it's really like the first time. And so I did that. And I didn't post it on my personal Facebook page. And I didn't tell my family about it other than Jeff. And then I did meet with a friend, a really close friend who loves me dearly. And we had coffee outside. I invited her over to the house and I let her know while we were talking about other things. I let her know that I was really excited about starting a new medication for my type 2 diabetes that also helps with weight loss. And I think I'd only been, I don't know, just like a week or two on this medication. And she was mortified. She was so scared for me. And her reaction wasn't to be mean. She loves me dearly, but she was afraid about the side effects. And she was like, Gina, this medication hasn't been out for for that terribly long. What if long term it gives you cancer or something? You don't know what it's going to do. And that makes me really nervous and concerned for you that you would take that medication. And she said, why don't you just try dieting and exercising? And that was funny because this friend is a skinny friend and a friend who's always been thin. I mean, during the pandemic, she gained like 20 pounds or something because, a lot of people did. But she lost that 20 pounds and she did it through diet and exercise. And so she didn't understand that I battle obesity and obesity is a disease. And there's a lot of things and a lot of doctors are coming out with that obesity is not a lack of willpower. Obesity is a disease. And I I have the disease of type 2 diabetes, which is also a metabolic disorder and makes it harder to lose weight,
Excuse
as well as been battling obesity before I had type 2 diabetes. And I've been on a lot of diets and I've done Weight Watchers and I've worked out at been I was a member of the YMCA gym for a very long time. I used to lead water aerobics classes and stuff. I had tried. It wasn't like this is like new to me. Oh, just eat less and exercise more and it'll all come off. Been there, done that many, many times. And it was a huge struggle for me. And I evidently was not winning because I was extremely overweight. And then, but when she was asking me, she wasn't trying to be mean. She was concerned. Some of the people we're going to see this week who haven't seen us in a while and are going to be able to tell that you've lost weight. Some of them love you dearly and they just want the best for you. And they might be worried because they don't know a lot about GLP-1s. They've only heard bad stuff or whatever. And if you watch any commercial about any medication and they go through the list of all the side effects that can happen to you, oh my gosh, it's just as scary as, it sounds really scary. Uh, so they may be concerned, and for them, they're probably hoping that you're not taking a GLP-1 because they're worried because they don't know that every drug has a bunch of side effects. They all do. But e- each individual person who takes those drugs don't get those side effects. Most people don't have any side effects. But if even one person in a clinical trial has one goofy thing, they have to put it. They have to put it out there. They have to put in the materials that that could be a side effect. And you don't know until you've done it for yourself of what if you're going to have any of those side effects. But how are you gonna get the benefit if you don't find out and don't try? Now, Jeff also worries that he makes sure that I try to say at every video, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm your sister from another mister. I'm your friend from across the pond if you're in the UK or in Australia. Uh, I'm someone here who doesn't want you to be alone, who wants you to know that there's somebody else that also struggles with obesity um and anything that I find out and discover that works for me, I'm going to share it with you. And when things don't work out, I tell you that too. Like when I went to Vegas, I have a short about going to Vegas and making a big mistake, and it made me throw up and have diarrhea in Vegas, and I only had two alcoholic drinks, just two. But I shared that as well because I want you to be able to benefit from either me or one of my other shipmates in the comments, that we can benefit from each other's experiences and we can find out things that we can share with it gives us ideas of questions to ask our doctor, because if someone suggests something and something that you online and you think, oh, maybe I should try that or do that while I'm taking my GLP-1, well, then you can ask your doctor about it. Like I take Miralax. The only side effect I truly have is constipation. Except I did throw up 3 times in 102 shots. I've only thrown up 3 times, and that's it. And that's because I ate something that was too heavy, rich in calories, too calorie dense, and then I also had something that was sugary with it. Uh, and that can be and alcohol is sugary too, but I think one of the 3 times I didn't have alcohol. One of the 3 times I didn't have alcohol, but I ate something that was very calorie dense, and I probably had something sugary too, and it didn't work out well for me. And it's always the middle of the night, hours later, it lays on my stomach, and then it has to leave, and it has to leave fast, and it's a surprise, and it wakes me up as a surprise. And then the other 2 times I did have alcohol with my calorie dense meal. But I didn't have a lot. I either had, well, I'm trying to think. Were both times? I can't remember when the first time was. Hmm. But the second time I think was in Vegas, and I did have two alcoholic drinks, but not even back to back. There was a couple of hours between them, you know. But it was awful. Uh, so I share those things. But the only so other than 3 times that I threw up in 102 weeks, the true side effect that I have to battle is constipation. But you know what? I was full of poop before I did Manjaro. I've always battled constipation ever since I was a kid. I didn't know I had constipation. Once you're potty trained, nobody asks you if you pooped. They don't care because you can go to the bathroom and poop by yourself. So from old enough out of diapers through high school, I pooped once or twice a week, and I thought that was normal. I thought everybody did. I didn't find out that I was constipated uh, my whole life up until I was 17 or whatever, until I asked my mom about it because my boyfriend was teasing me that he pooped every day, and I thought he was teasing me, and he was serious, and he was surprised that I thought that that was weird and that he was lying, and he wasn't lying. He pooped every day. And my mom's like, "Well, yeah, I poop every day." And then my mom asked me, "How often do you poop?" And I'm like, "Well, once or twice a week. I only poop on the weekend." And oh gosh. And so my mom, who's a nurse practitioner, had no idea that my whole life I was constipated. So it's no surprise while being on Manjaro that that's what I have to be careful with. And so I take Miralax about every other day. Sometimes I'll go 2 or 3 days without if I'm doing a really good job with my fiber and water and things are happening okay. But at least twice a week, I'll take one dose of Miralax. But my doctor told me that I could. My doctor told me for me, and the medications that I could take one dose of Miralax once a day for the rest of my life and I should be fine, which is great. Now, for you, you might be taking another medication that Miralax wouldn't work well with. You always ask your doctor, but that'd be a question you could ask your doctor about. So we share our stories and we share our stories to help each other. Now, I didn't post on Facebook that I had given myself my first shot. I didn't post on Facebook for a few weeks of being on Manjaro because I pretty much kept it to my family, and family, close family knew that I was on Manjaro, but I didn't share it to a lot of people that I know. Um, and then at one point, I thought, I might have some friends who could really benefit. And I was seeing a huge benefit. I mean, once I was truly sold, knowing, oh my gosh, this has been so good for me. My A1C is under control. My blood sugar is just perfect. Um, Weight was coming off. I didn't have food noise anymore where I just was constantly hungry and constantly thinking about food. It was just such a relief for me. Then I was more ready to be like, okay, I don't care. Everybody could know if they want to know that that'd be fine. But it's funny. There's different groups of people that you don't see that often that are different kinds of friends that don't know everything about you. And I mentioned this on a Manjaro Monday live, oh, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. But there is a group of special old ladies that I'm a part of. And it's a group you have to be old to be in it. You have to be at least 55 years old. And we wear purple shirts and red hats. And we have a blast. And we're supposed to wear, if you have sparkly jewelry, you wear sparkly jewelry, rhinestones. It's supposed to be a very fun, joyful group of old ladies. And they started with a poem about wearing red hats and wearing purple when you're old. That when I grow old, I'm going to wear a red hat and I'm going to wear purple, and I'm not going to worry if my colors clash, and I'm going to wear all my sparkly jewelry and things, and I'm going to laugh out loud, and I'm going to have so much fun. And I'm not going to care about what other people think of me. I'm just going to have a blast with my friends. And I can't remember exactly how the poem goes, but that's the essence of the poem. And I heard that when I was in high school. And I thought, when I'm a grandma, that's the kind of grandma I want to be. And then I found out when I turned 55, I was a little nervous. I couldn't believe I was 55. It really, all the other birthdays never really hit me, but 55 did, where I was like, wow. I am a senior, that's considered a senior citizen. Holy crap. How did I get to be so old? And so I wasn't sure if I really liked turning 55. And then I talked to my friend Marilee, and she's so sweet. And she's the queen bee, because that's what they call the leader of the ladies who wear the red hats and the purple shirts. That's the queen bee of your particular club. And Marilee was a queen bee, and she told me she was a queen bee and that I should join her group. And I did. I was the youngest. I never felt so young as being in her group because I was 55 and all the other ladies, there might have been one in her 60s. And then the rest, they were all 70s and 80s. And this group had been together for a long time. So they don't go to my YouTube channel, and I didn't talk about having diabetes or taking Manjaro. And oh, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I was at an event with them. We meet once a month, and we always have a dinner, and maybe we'll do an activity. And uh, when I was having dinner with them, and we were sitting at a table, and there was about 10 of us, someone mentioned GLP-1 shots, and they were not talking about it in a nice way. Now, do know these ladies that have lived, a while, and they're in their 70s and 80s, not one of them has obesity, not a one. Uh, because, a lot of us face it. A lot of us who battle obesity don't live to be in our 80s. We die of heart attacks and strokes and more likely to get cancer and all kinds of horrible things. And so these ladies, they were in their 70s and 80s and still really healthy and active, but they've been thin, at least thin to medium their whole life. And so they didn't understand why anybody would want to take one of those fat shots. And someone said something very, very negative about those shots. And she was sitting next to me and she had no idea that I have been on Manjaro. And at that point, I was probably down 40 to 45 pounds. I'm down 50 now, but I was down like 40 to 45 pounds at that point. And they didn't know, but they see me every month, once a month. And so the weight loss is slower. So they probably didn't even realize that I was 40 pounds fatter when they first met me. Because they were seeing me, gradually, and I'm still pudgy. So it's not like all of a sudden I'm skinny and I used to be pudgy. I'm still, I went from being really big to plump, very plump. But she was mentioning the fat shot. Someone she knew had lost a lot of weight, and she said, but she didn't cheat and take one of those dumb shots, one of those horrible shots. She did it the right way, with a diet and exercise. And I sat there and I thought, huh, do I tell these thin old ladies that I've been taking Manjaro and it's been life changing for me? Or do I just stay quiet and change the subject and talk about something else? And I had a choice. I could do either. And I thought about it and thought, you know what? A lot of them have kids my age and one of them might be taking Manjaro at some point or be needing it, or maybe one of their grandkids. Yeah, I'm gonna take the bullet. And so I looked at everyone in the room and I said, I'm on Manjaro and it has changed my life. And then they just looked. I mean, a lot of times there's extra little conversations. Man, you could hear a pin drop. And they all looked at me and I could tell none of them knew anybody that was taking the shot. And they looked at me and I said, "Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I first joined you guys, because I'm 59 now, and I was 59 at the time, and I said, when I first joined you guys 4 years ago, I was like 45 pounds heavier or 40, I don't know, something like that. But I've lost a lot of weight on Manjaro, but it's more than that. My A1C is 5.4 now. It's in the normal range. And I had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And after I was on Mounjaro for 8 months, I had an ultrasound of my liver taken and it was clean. I don't have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease anymore. It's gone. And that was just 8 months on Mounjaro. And I couldn't walk upstairs very well. My knees hurt and I would walk kind of weird up them. I I don't know, I kind of like would drag a leg and I couldn't just go boom, 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 boom like that. And now I can walk up and down stairs and my knees don't hurt. And I can exercise more because my knees don't hurt. Uh, and it's just been a game changer for me. Well, someone else in the group, they had a family member die of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and knew how important that was. And then I told him that the side effects for me, I've always battled constipation. I still have to battle constipation, but now I know I stay ahead of it, so it doesn't cause me a lot of grief. I stay ahead of it, but it's something I always have to be aware of. But it's been a game changer. And then I told the ladies, I said, see the cake that's on my plate? We've been here chatting for an hour because one of the ladies, it was her birthday and there was birthday cake. And we got this cake that's on my plate an hour ago, and I ate about 3 or 4 bites of it, but there's still a half a piece of cake on my plate that, you know what, I'm not going to eat. And I'm not going to eat it because, oh, it's too fattening and I shouldn't have the calories. I'm not going to eat it because I don't want it. You know, the first 3 or 4 bites I ate were delicious. Everything still tastes good to me, but after 3 or 4 bites, I'm done. I'm satisfied. And 4 years ago, when I joined your group, I would have eaten all of that cake, and then we'd be sitting and chatting, and I'd be looking at it thinking, "Dang, I wish I could have another piece." But now it doesn't do that to me. And now, when we had dinner, I ate a lot of I ate a lot of my dinner, but I couldn't finish it. I'm not part of the clean plate anymore. I was able to stop. And I stopped because I was satisfied. I was done. I didn't need any more. And it was fine. What it's done, it's made me feel like a normal person, like regular thin people that never battled obesity, what it must be like for them. You eat, you enjoy your food, but you know, when you're satisfied, you're done. And you're not hungry anymore, and you're not hungry all day long. You're just hungry when it's a natural mealtime. And it's made a difference for me, a huge difference for me. They were just so quiet, but they really listened. And I hope when they go to their holiday gatherings, if they have a family member who's battled obesity, who's lost weight, I'm really hopeful that they'll be very kind and encouraging to that person. And maybe they won't just in general conversation say, "Hey, have you heard of those obesity drugs? Oh my gosh, those are so horrible." Or because all these ladies are nice ladies. They're very sweet old ladies. They just didn't know any better. And what they've heard from their other thin old people, chatting together, was that, this is like a cheat. This is um, people who've lost weight don't deserve to be thin if they use the shot because they didn't do it the hard way. Now I can also tell you, but anyway, I think that went great. I have since seen them. Oh, and when I was done giving my talk, Jeff pulled up and had called me and said, "Hey, I'm here to pick you up because I brought my bongos." uh it was a Mamma Mia party, and we were going to dance and stuff, and so I brought bongos to play while we're dancing and having a good time. And so Jeff pulled up in the van so I could put the bongos in the van, but he picked me up right after I gave that talk. And so I didn't get to have a lot more discussion to hear more of their thoughts, but I was able to give my thoughts and I was heard. Well, then someone asked me, I wonder what they'll say to you the next time they see you. Well, I've done a few more get togethers with them. And you know what? The topic doesn't come up. We talk about other things. We talk about our grandkids. We talk about a trip that we're going to go on. We talk about spouses that might be sick, or a friend who might be sick, or I don't know. We talk about a lot of other things. But weight has not come up since. So that was my experience with that. Um, my shipmates, you touch my heart daily. People who show up on Mondays to get together and to share our stories. You touch my heart. And I've prayed for a lot of you and a lot of your family members. If they're sick or something, you ask for prayers. I really do pray for them. And in the comment section, when people watch on replay and they share part of their story, you touch my heart that we can be together in community. Now, sometimes people may say something to you about being on a GLP-1 and or about losing weight, and you can decide. It's up to you. If you don't want to tell them you're on a GLP-1, don't tell them. You don't have to. You absolutely don't have to. But if you want to, you can. Here's something that I did once. When I was a school teacher years ago, a young school teacher, I was always just a young school teacher because I just taught school for 11 years. And then I did the stay at home mom thing when my second child was born. But I remember as a very young school teacher, I was in the cafeteria, I was in the teacher's lounge, and and I was eating, and I asked something to one of the older teachers. And I can't remember what I said. I might have asked her if she was losing weight, or maybe I asked her how old she was. I don't know what I asked her, but whatever it was a personal question. And she looked at me after I asked the question and she said, why do you want to know? And wow, that really put it back onto me. And I had to think about it. I don't know why did I ask her that question? So I'm thinking in my head, why did I ask her that question? And I think I was just trying to make conversation. Uh, but she put it back on me. Now, you could do the same thing. So if someone asks you, hey, you've lost a lot of weight. Are you taking one of those fat shots or whatever? Uh, you could say, why do you want to know? And then listen. Maybe they want to know because they're interested in taking it too and they don't know anyone else who's doing it and they want to know, or do you have bad side effects? Is it, some tips and tricks of things that you're doing because they're thinking about maybe trying it? Maybe that's the answer they're going to give you, is they were thinking about it too and was just wondering if you'd done it. Maybe they asked just because, I don't know, they were at a social situation and they're just trying to make conversation and they can tell, wow, you've lost a lot of weight. And they're trying to be complimentary to say, wow, you look good. And they're not meaning harm. But there are the mean girls out there. There are those that are what do they call them? Bad fairies that uh might want to just be snarky. Uh, but you could say, why do you want to know? And then they say whatever and then change the subject. You don't have to answer, but then you take the attention off you and put it back onto them. And I learned that, like I say, years ago, and I'll never forget it. I will never forget it because I wasn't close friends with anybody then. I was a young new teacher. I was just trying to do conversation. And, but the question I asked was too personal for that person. And they wanted to check to make sure that my intention was a good intention for asking that question. But that's another way that you could handle it. Um, I was gonna show Jeff did put some pictures for me. Maybe he did. Here we go. I don't know for sure how to do it. There we go. So that was the thumbnail today. The holiday GP1 holiday strategy. Do you tell or not tell? Choice is yours. And maybe some people you're willing to share with, people that really love you and care about you, and other people that are more acquaintance relatives or whatever. You change the subject, or you talk about something else. And I will tell you, when you start off like this, wait, how do I go to the next? I don't know how to do the next picture. Oh, dang it. Oh, here we go. Slide number 2. Here we go. Now, this was for me on week 94, and I'm week 102 now. So I've actually lost even more weight. But see that picture of me on the right? That's me at my daughter's wedding, and I'm wearing the same dress. And that is me. I wasn't the full 254 pounds because I'd lost a few pounds before the wedding. I don't know. I was about 250 or so. And then that's me. And then me on the other side, uh, week 94. I'm not sure if I hit Wonderland not, but yet I was close. But now I'm definitely in Wonderland. Today I'm 196. And I'm officially 50 pounds down from my first shot. My first shot on January 10th, I was 246 pounds, and now I'm 196. So I have lost the 50 pounds that I wanted to lose. But look, there is a difference there. And there it's not even the full 50 yet. Uh, Between these two pictures, it's not the full 50 yet. It's close, but that's a difference. So if someone has seen, if they're used to seeing you at your heavier weight, and all of a sudden they see you now, they're going to notice that there's a difference. Now, how do I go off of this? Like I say, I don't have Jeff. There we go. Okay, I got it figured out. So, they're noticing a difference. You don't look the same. Now, a lot of people will say when they see that you've lost weight, they might not ask you about the shot. They'll say, wow, you look great. Have you lost weight? You can say, yeah. Yes. And then the next question they almost always ask is, how did you do it? Most people who ask, how did you do it? They're not meaning harm by that. They're curious. How did you do it? 74% of Americans are overweight. There's, 3 out of 4 people want to know how to lose weight. How'd you do it? What did you do? You have a choice there too. A bunch of us who are taking GLP-1s, it's not a magic wand. You don't take it and then fat melts off your body. You still got to do stuff. You're still taking in less calories, and you're burning more calories than you're taking in, just like anybody who's lost weight in any other way. The difference is the shot makes it easier because your stomach isn't emptying as fast. So then you're not as hungry because you can stay fuller longer. Also, it has something that tells your brain you're full. Once you've eaten enough, oh, you're full. And those of us who battle obesity, we don't have that thing that tells us we're full. And it just nags at us that we're still hungry, even though we're not still hungry. We still have to do all the stuff. We still have to eat less. And for some of us, we have to exercise. And for me, I do. If I don't get some exercise in, I will stall and I will stay at the same weight. Exercise really helps me and is very important. It's an important part of my journey. And so I am exercising. So you can say what it is that you've done. You don't have to mention your GLP-1 unless you want to. But how many here have been exercising and eating less while on your GLP-1? Me, I'm still doing that. Heck, I have to, if I want to truly lose weight, I have to track my food. I have to write down what I ate. I have to chat. Since Manjaro really does a great job with my blood sugar, I no longer have to really track my carbs, but I do have to track to make sure I have enough protein in my day and I have enough fiber in my day, especially with the fiber. So that way I don't have constipation issues. So I track both of those things. I track how much water I have because if I don't drink enough water, that can be constipating as well. And you lose more weight when you take in enough fluids, and that's helpful. Um, so you can talk about the things that you're doing that other people do when they lose weight with diet and exercising because you're doing that too. Taking a GLP-1 is not cheating. It's actually for those of us who battle obesity, it puts us on a level playing ground with regular people who do not battle obesity. They just battle some pounds every now and again and take them off. I was watching a show. There's a show, it has CEO in the name, and I really like this guy. I think he's from South Africa. Maybe he's got a great accent. And he talks to all kinds of CEOs from lots of different fields. You never know what CEO he's going to have. And he was interviewing somebody who was a CEO, and this particular CEO had lost weight while taking a GLP-1. And I don't even remember what he was a CEO of, if it was something in the nutrition industry or a doctor or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I just caught a piece of it. And the podcaster, he is thin. He's very thin and he's buff. The guy works out. And he held up a shot talking to the other gentleman who'd lost weight taking a GLP-1. And the other gentleman, he's I think like a super responder guy where he takes his GLP-1 and it just doesn't make him hungry. And so he eats a lot less calories than he used to, and the weight melts off. And that particular guy doesn't exercise, and the weight's just melted off of him. And he's done great on his GLP-1 by just eating a lot less. And the podcaster guy said, "Wow, you know, I think about this. I go to the gym for an hour and a half every day so I can have these great abs, get my six pack of abs and an hour and a half. But if I were to take this shot, I could have an hour and a half back of my life and I wouldn't have to go to the gym anymore. I'd just take this magic shot and I'd be able to stay thin." It's really something to think about. And is it really fair? I wrote a comment on there, and I wrote a comment and I said, and so coming from Anchor Moments, and I said, "Hey, I've lost 50 pounds taking Manjaro, but I tell you what, My knees used to hurt and made it hard for me to exercise. Now my knees don't hurt and I exercise every day and I can exercise because I'm taking the shot. And I'm able to uh, be satisfied eating less food and I make sure that I'm eating healthy. I'm doing all of those things. And that's how I've lost 50 pounds on it. It's not a magic shot for me, but it's a wonderful tool. I don't know. Take that as you will. Um, but those are some of my thoughts as you run into people at either a New Year's Eve party or a Hanukkah gathering or your Christmas dinner with family that hasn't seen you for a while and you've had success losing weight on your GLP-1. It's your choice. You can choose to share that you're on a GLP-1 or not. And if someone says, "Hey, have you lost weight? You look great." You can say thanks. You can leave it at thanks and change the subject, or you can share more, but it's your choice. It's your choice. And I hope this helps some of you out there. And I will tell you, saying how much I weigh just now, it took me, geez, when was the first time? I think I've only admitted my weight the last 5 or 6 weeks on the show, and that's why I love you Shipmates so much, because not one of you asked me how much I weighed. Not one. Not one of you. It was probably it might have been this one when I went to the 15 milligrams. So how do I get that there? Shoot. Still having a hard time with this slideshow. I think Jeff is probably in the other room watching Star Trek because I stressed him out doing this trial of doing the short shelf. But I can't figure out how to get that back. Is it this? Nope. Well, anyway, the picture of me in the two blue dresses. Week 94. That might have been when I finally admitted what my weight was. And it was having traces of Twan's life, having her Twan as a guest. And she shares her weight on her show. And she said, it's because there may be somebody else out there, at my weight, and I could help them. And so why not? And I thought about it. And the only reason I hadn't shared my weight, it was family. It was my family. I love my family dearly, but it was embarrassing to be able to I'm like, what if I had a family member listen and hear that as short as I am, because when I was in high school, I was 110. So even 196 is like ridiculously heavier than that. And I wasn't ready to share my numbers because I was afraid it was the family members that I was afraid would hear my weight and I just didn't want to tell. But different people who've emailed me that are because you can email me Gina@anchormoments.com, and some different people that have emailed me that have been on my show and they always share their weight and how much weight they've lost. Like Mayor Mindy. I told Mayor Mindy how much I weighed. Uh, and people like that, 'cause it didn't bother me, but it did bother me because family is there's just emotions attached with family, and I just didn't want my family to know how much I weighed other than Jeff. I mean, I didn't even tell my mom, and before I said it on a live, I did call my mom, and I shared with her. I was so excited. I was in Wonderland, and I shared with her my weight. And she wasn't mean to me, but I don't know, it's just I don't know, but I was worried, and my dad, I've had him on my show, and I know he watches my show, and I love him dearly too, and he shared his weight on my show, I believe, And he's asked me a few times, well, how much do you weigh? Or how much did you weigh before you started Mounjaro? And I wouldn't tell him when I visited him and I did I was too embarrassed to say how much I weighed. And then I thought about it later. I thought, good grief, you're going to be 60 next year. I think you're old enough to know it shouldn't matter. And what if somebody out on YouTube is similar weight as you, and it would help them to know that you weigh that much too, and that we have that in common. And then they can see each week that it takes me a long time to lose weight because I still love food, and food still tastes good to me on Manjaro. So it takes me a while to lose weight because I still enjoy things. I still enjoy some food that's more calorie dense, but I know now not to eat too much of it, or I'll have a Manjaro speaking in the middle of the night and wake up with vomiting diarrhea. Who wants that? Nobody. Um, so anyway, but now I'm 100% transparent. I'm too old to worry about how much I weigh, you know? And if people know how much I weigh, whatever. I am healthier now than I've been in a long time. And I feel good because I'm on Manjaro. And and I just am been just so happy getting to know so many of my shipmates too. And you mean a lot to me, and you make my Manjaro Monday super special. And my heart is full of gratitude that you come and you watch more than one video. And when you give it a thumbs up, a like, or subscribe, wow, that's great because it helps YouTube find other shipmates who need a friend, who need a sister from another mister who says, "Yeah, I went to the gym 3 times this week and oh, I found a good healthy snack that was helpful. Or I thought found something really quick and easy to make for dinner that's very nutritious, that's delicious. I want to share that with you. Just a buddy, a special buddy that's there with you and gets it. Well, that's all I have is to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and know that I love you guys. Now let's see. The comments, there's a ton, and we're here for each other. So I only read a couple in the very beginning when Jeff was freaking out that the short shelf is really not working well to be able to try to do two at the same time, to do the short shelf and do the a short shelf live while streaming a horizontal live at the same time. It was worth a shot to try it once and see how it goes. But let's see. There are lots of comments, and let's share some of your comments because someone might have a question or um, or some special thoughts that we can share. Like we got Taz the Bulldog's mom in the house. Woohoo! Hey, and she's getting married. This is her week. So we need to put out lots of good wishes that she has just the best wedding ever. Um, and I'm not exactly sure how. I think Cindy spells her name Cyn, because she's done sin before. She'll do the Cyn. So not exactly sure how she spells her name, Paula. She says, "Yep, that works." So, as long as we can say it, there you go. How are you doing this week? Ah, and tech squirrels here. And people are wishing each other a Merry Christmas and saying hi to each other. There's just a lot of fun in the chat too. Um, yep, and Paula, she's finally done with shopping and now she's cooking. I think I'm just about done with shopping. There's maybe a couple more things I want to put in stockings and then I am done. And Jeff, he's a good gift wrapper and he's wrapped up all the presents under the tree. Um, Oh, and Cindy has a non-scale victory. And she made tamales, which is out of tradition, and it was awesome. And she had no urge to eat any. Oh my gosh. You made a bunch of tamales and you didn't even eat any? Oh my goodness. Hopefully you'll enjoy one you'll enjoy one soon. But that's a big deal because making tamales are delicious and you eat a ton of them. And same thing with Christmas cookies. And I made Christmas cookies and I ate some Christmas cookies, but not as many as I would have eaten if I wasn't on my GLP-1. Oh, thanks, Paula. I'll let Jeff know. He created the thumbnail for me. Ah. Yep, those tamales are delicious. Paula's loving that. And we are on today. Yep, it took me a couple extra minutes figuring out how to do the two at one time. And we got Laura in the house. And Paula says, my husband's mom got some tamales from an authentic restaurant. And oh, they were so good. Yeah, I love tamales. And Cindy says, mine are all from scratch, just like my mom taught me. Aw. And that was all right before I went live, even. Oh my goodness. And we got Grant in the house. And yeah, and then it was the hard time of people trying to figure out because they were on the watching me on the short shelf where it's smaller. Okay. And oh, we got Ryan here too. Hi, Ryan. And Gummy Pop. Hey, Gummy Pop. Aw, and she's being so sweet. I appreciate that. Or hard to know for sure. Gummy Pop could be a girl or a boy. Aw, so nice. Hey, and we got traveling tea in the house too. And she prefers the horizontal. I gotcha. And yep. And you can switch from one to the other. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about the chat part, but I do have this. Oh, and I also have Anchor Moments RV. Sometimes I go live, and I've done that before with StreamYard, where I can go live in regular Anchor Moments and Anchor Moments RV at the same time. But I only do that if, like I'm traveling, because then it's good because it's a travel show, the Anchor Moments RV. So sometimes, if I'm doing something about healthy things to eat on the road, that really fits both audiences, Anchor Moments and Anchor Moments RV. And if I'm doing it live, I'll have it be live in both places. But no, this is all on my regular Anchor Moments YouTube channel. But you can go live on the short shelf where that helps you to find other people who aren't subscribers can see it more likely. And then the regular spot on my Anchor Moments YouTube channel. And then that's nice and horizontal. And let's see. And a shot, vodka, a Mounjaro shot. And Steve says, hello from America. I don't have PayPal. Do you have a question about the USA? Uh, yeah, I don't know. Um, oh, no, Grant says there's actually two separate chats between the two versions. So you could chat in both. Okay. Hey, and Sandy feels like me too. She said, in the beginning, I didn't tell anyone that she was on a GLP-1, but now I'll shout it out to the mountaintops. I'm down 88 pounds. Yay! And went from 206 to 118 on maintenance now. I am so proud of you, Sandy. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh yeah, and Pam too. Manjaro Journey with Pam has a YouTube channel, and she's been on my show. She's lost 160 pounds, and she's tried doing going live too, doing trying out the vertical versus just horizontal. There you go. Yeah, and Jeff, he gave us this was too stressful for him to have it go live in both places. He really tries to make everything just perfect, and if he can't, and I won't bend. But bending was I'd have to totally get off, and then we'd have to start a new one and put all the things again, and it'd take a while to get it set up. I figured I'd just wing it and keep going. Uh, yeah, and there was two to choose from. Hey, we got Mindy in the house too. Woohoo! Yeah. And Paula said, you could say, oh, you lost weight. How'd you do it? Diet and exercise. Easy peasy. People don't understand when they say that. My favorite comment is, I'm going to do it the right way. Oh, I like that. Yep, because it's the right way for you and it's the right way for me. I'm going to do it the right way. I like that. Yeah, just diet and exercise, easy peasy to the skinny person. And Mindy says she see comments fine and horizontal. Oh, good. And Paula says, I feel like I'm alone on an island. Yeah. So, oh, shipmates, where are you? So she must have started off on the up and down and didn't see our usual chat like we do on the horizontal. And Grant says, I had a Manjaro whooping the day after Christy's surgery. Oh no. I think it was more nerves than anything though. Oh yeah. Those Manjaro spankings aren't fun when you get one of those. That's for sure. And Grant says, I had a funeral to go to this week and had another encounter with someone who doesn't agree with GLP 1s. She gave me a look of shock, like she couldn't believe it.
Grant says that you might see comments that have already been deleted, but they show up in StreamYard. So just look and make sure you can appropriate.
Thanks, Grant. Grant is one of my moderators. Grant and Mindy, Mayor Mindy, and Barb Health at Any Cost. They are three of my besties, and we've given them moderation so they can, if a troll comes along, they can have them walk the plank. Let's see. And we're so encouraging to each other. I really appreciate that. Like Paula congratulating Sandy because 88 pounds lost. That is so fantastic. And she's on maintenance. That is so great. And Robin says, I did my thumbs up and I'm here unpacking as I move, but I'm listening. Yeah, Robin's moving to a new place today. So excited to have you here, Robin. Thank you. And thanks for the thumbs up too, because that really does make a difference. Paula says, I'm selective about who I share my GLP-1 journey with. One friend said she wouldn't take a shot because she would do it the right way through diet and exercise alone. Well, good for her. But for us, we're doing it our right way too. Yep. And Mindy says, Paula, I've done it the right way so many times. I'm proud to be cheating and doing it wrong now. Ha! And Mindy's lost over 100 pounds, Mayor Mindy. And she says, and Mindy says, and I did it the right way and gained it all back. And now she's keeping it off forever. And Paula says, me too, Mindy. They think this is some magic pill and the weight just falls off with no effort. I've worked just as hard along with my GLP-1. Me too. I've got to do the exercise. I've got to eat right. And for me, truly, I'm on maintenance. If I don't write down my calories and write down what I'm eating, then my body kind of goes into maintenance. I have to write it down and that takes time too and work as well as doing all the things, but I can do all the things and it's doable now to do all those diet and exercise things now that I don't have the inflammation and I have Manjaro. It's just a game changer for me, but I still have to do all the stuff. I still have to do the work, but it makes the work doable and more attainable for me anyway. And Paula says, I'm so glad you said that, Gina. Oh, good. And Paula says, my A1C is also in the normal range. Woohoo! That's great. And people can be so judgmental and she's over it. Yep. And maybe someone's thinking about, yeah, we're cheating death. I like that. We are cheating. We're cheating death. We're cheating comorbidities. I'll just take those cheats. I'll take those cheats too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. I am cheating. I'm cheating death. That is really good. And Cindy says there are so many obstacles being on a GLP-1. Yeah, there are some. You look like a skinwalker. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. And Paula said, there is jealousy too. Some don't like to see you succeeding, as crazy as that sounds. And, I didn't bring that up, but you're right, Paula. So many people are battling obesity or even being overweight. I mean, I remember when I was 140 pounds, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm 30 pounds overweight. And I felt like I was like crazy overweight. And now I'm like, my goal weight maximum is to be down to 154. I'm like, oh, because it was so hard for me to be less than that. I could hardly eat anything, and I had to exercise for hours every day. Um, but people, the biggest bullies are ourselves. That we, uh, and so when you look at some of those friends, their biggest bully is themselves too. And so we don't know all the mean things they're saying to themselves over the 15 pounds maybe that they need to lose. So they're not even obese on the BMI chart. They're just a little bit overweight, but they may be really mean to themselves when they're looking at themselves in the mirror. You don't know. And then they see you and go, "Oh my gosh, she's lost all that weight. Oh, she's cheating though. She's taking those shots." You don't know, uh, and it can be a jealousy issue for somebody. That is a possibility. Thanks for bringing that up, Paula. I didn't even give that one, and I'm so glad you like the thumbnail. Jeff will be happy to hear that. And Robin says, Gina, you're loved in more ways than one. Jeff, too. I talk about how great the Zepbound has been for me. I'm too much of a jabberjaws to not. Oh, I'm glad that you share it out there because people do need to hear it. The more they hear, and as more of us are taking these shots and are doing really well and having success, uh, I think a lot of the, oh, they're cheating or whatever is going to disappear because more people are going to be taking it, and then they'll see for themselves. It doesn't melt the fat. You still have to do the work, but it makes the work so much doable, so much easier and doable. And Grant says, on a positive note, though, is it connected with someone else at the, oh, on a positive note, though, he connected with someone else at the funeral who's on Manjaro and had a good time comparing notes. See, that's great. That's great, Grant. And Paula says, yay, Gina, Wonderland and 50 pounds down. I know, you guys. Uh, my first three goals, my very first goal was to get to Wonderland. If I could get to Wonderland, oh my gosh. And I made it. So I made that goal. But goal number two was to lose 50 pounds. That's what my doctor first told me when it first hit the market. And I couldn't take Manjaro because I couldn't afford it. But that I could lose 50 pounds. There were people losing 50 pounds on this. And 50 pounds was the magic number to me because I didn't even think about more than 50 pounds because I didn't think I'd ever be able to lose 50 pounds again in my lifetime to be able to get into Wonderland and be 50 pounds down. So 50 pounds was truly my goal. And I'm at it. I'm at that goal. I'm 50 pounds, and in Wonderland and 50 pounds down. But my next goal is uh, it'd be nice to get to 175, to lose another 21 pounds. Um, I think that would feel even better, and I think I'd be able to hike farther if because I'm still carrying quite a bit of weight and that I think would be great. And then the stretch dream goal that if I make it, great. If I don't, I'd still just be thrilled. I'm thrilled where I am now. So every pound from here on out is just a giant blessing. Um, but it'd be kind of nice to say I'm down 100 pounds for my heaviest and get down to 154. And I was 154 after I had my, mm, maybe before, I can't remember. When I had Alexis, I was 154 at one point when I had one. I can't remember if I got down as low as that with Jacob, but there was a period of time when I had both of my kids and I was 175. I was teaching a get real weight loss class at the YMCA. I did that for 7 or 8 years. And for 7 or 8 years, when I would start teaching the class, I'd be at about 185. And then I would teach the class for, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks. And by the end of the class, I'd be down 10 pounds and I'd be back down to 175. And then they would wait for signups. So it'd be another 2 or 3 months before I teach the class again. And then I would always gain that 10 pounds back and I'd be back up to 185. And then I get back down to 175. And I did that for about 7 years. And then I let somebody else teach the class who came from a different YMCA and had taught that class. And she was thin. She was thin. She was at her ideal weight and she worked out all the time and she always ate right. She did all the right things. And she said, "Hey, do you have a get real class here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I teach it." And she said, "Oh, I taught it at my other Y. I just love that class." And then I said, "Oh, if you want, you can teach it. You can teach it here." And I stepped down and I let her do it because I'd seen her working out and stuff and thought, "Oh, uh, I don't know." It was amazing how fat I felt at 175. I felt like I was so huge. And now I think, oh my gosh, I look back at pictures, I think, oh, it'd be great to be 175 again. Anyway, so those are all my weight number goals, but the big goal is just to be as healthy as I can and make sure I never gain my weight back and I keep all 50 pounds off, and each pound after that's just a fabulous, fabulous bonus. Aw, thanks. And yeah, and Grant has been doing amazing. Gym training has really put me to the next step in my journey for sure. Yeah, you know what? What's really neat for all my friends who out there who have resisted doing resistance training at a gym or with free weights at home, or even some things you do with your own body like wall push-ups and squats and things. It's really made a difference for me. I have been buying pants now. Pants. I had not bought pants in years. The pants that I have been wearing are stretchy pants, and I wore them 50 pounds ago. But then I started noticing my stretchy pants were starting to fall down, and I'd have to really kind of pull them up. And so the last 2 weeks, I've been buying jeans. And look at these cute jeans I got on sale. They got like little pearls on them and stuff. I'm so excited to be in jeans. Yeah. And smaller jeans. Uh, I'm just it's just so much fun for me. The ones that I'm wearing now are a Chico size 2.5, and a 2.5 is not a real 2.5. Uh Chico sizing is like pretend sizing, but next to the 2.5, it said size 14 USA. I'm like, what? These are their boyfriend jeans, and the boyfriend jeans give you more room in your hip and thigh. And then I've also bought a really cute pair that I'll wear next week that are called girlfriend jeans from Chico's, and those I need the size 3, and the size 3 is a size 16 in the US. So at least a size 16. So like a 16 is like fantastic. And if it's a jean that gives you a little extra room, a 14. What? So that's thrilling to me because I was a size 20 and my 20s were tight. And I did so the last pair of jeans I bought was a 20, and yeah, and they were tight. I couldn't put them in the dryer. I had to, when I washed them, I'd have to hang them to dry. And but I was not going to go up to a 22, and that's when I started losing weight. And then I just stuck with the stretchy pants thing. Well, at some point I don't want to keep buying pants that I'm not going to wear because I'll keep losing weight. But I did buy some new pants this last 2 weeks, and it's been fun wearing regular jeans and stuff again. And I skipped the 18 and went from 20 to 18. I mean to 16. And if it gives you a little extra room in the thigh, a 14. That was a non-scale victory for sure. And Mindy says, fair, fair to whom? Are we in some kind of contest I'm not aware of? People want fat people to earn their thinness. They think it's a moral failing and we need to suffer. There are people that are like there are the grumpies in the world. And yeah, it's too bad. That's too bad for them. That how much joy can you have in your heart when you feel that way about other people? Think about that. Mm, kindness, I think, wins. And Grant says, good point, Mindy. And yet, so many people who are fortunate not to work to stay thin from birth didn't earn that. They just got lucky genes. Yep. And Cindy says, it's work. People just don't get it. There are so many components to lose weight, and then you battle the mind, and there are so many obstacles and emotional battles. That is so true. And Pamela says, I don't share my weight either, not even with my husband. He has figured it out based off my comments, but I've always told people from day one that I was taking Zepbound. Very good, Pam. And I get it. Uh, Jeff, he didn't know my weight for a long time, but when we started doing the 444 plan, uh, and I had type 2 diabetes, I started sharing my weight with him too, so we could encourage each other. And he, at the time, also, for his first time in his life, all of a sudden had obesity that he needed to get rid of instead of always being a skinny mini. But well, I shouldn't say mini because he's always so tall, long and lean. He was always a long and lean. Yeah. And Cindy says, my husband to be daughter said it's a coward's way out. Um, wow. Yeah, and she said, I was floored. Oh, good grief. Yeah, she doesn't know any better. And Paula says, I love your videos, Gina. Thanks, Paula. I appreciate that so much. Oh, and I love you too. Oh, we love you guys. You guys are awesome. And tomorrow's when Cindy gets married. I knew it was coming this week. It was Christmas week. That is so exciting, Cindy. At some point, you need to you need to be a guest on my show. And when you're a guest on my show, Cindy, you'll have to send me a picture of you in your wedding dress, and with you and your husband to be. We'll put your wedding a wedding picture up. That'd be fun to share for sure, and hear your journey. We love you too, Mindy. Yeah, it's hard work. It sure is. Oh, and see, she didn't know you were on it. Just like when those ladies, those Red Hat Society ladies, when they were when they brought it up, they had no idea I was on it. They didn't think anybody was on it in the room. They were just bashing those silly shots, like having no idea. Oh, goodness. Until I told him, "Well, I'm on it, and it's changed my life." Yeah. I'm glad to know she wasn't trying to be mean to you. Now, hey, Lisa, down 20 pounds in 6 weeks. That's fantastic. And Pam says, my sister was downright mad at me when I told her I was taking Zepbound. She's very heavy, so I'm not sure why she would be mad. I was quite hurt, but she's the only person to say anything negative. Huh. You know, she's probably heard about all the side effects and that kind of stuff, and probably thought it was a terrible idea to be on it, and maybe her doctor maybe has said something to her. I mean, I don't know, but she's battling it too. She's battling it too, but in her own way. But wow. But yeah, it can be so hurtful. I hear you. I hear you. And Lisa needs some help though with something. So we're going to find out what. And Pamela says mentioning jealousy might be what the sister is feeling. Yeah, absolutely, especially since she's battling obesity too and is not taking it. And maybe her insurance won't cover it. And if you're battling obesity and you don't have type 2 diabetes, there's a bunch of insurance options that aren't going to work for you. Um, and even mine, I started off, I had type 2 diabetes and obesity, and they weren't going to pay for it until like a year later. And then they're like, okay, we'll pay for it for type 2 diabetes. So maybe her insurance won't pay for it. I don't know. Hard to say for sure. Yep. And Robin says, I think most people are seeing how the beginning of this medicine took off and the celebrities that were abusing the shots and they didn't need it is what most will remember. Yeah, remember? And that was back when it was hard to get it and there was shortages everywhere. And I remember back then there were some YouTubers that had diabetes that were mad at people who didn't have diabetes who were taking the shots because they couldn't get the medicine. And if you have type 2 diabetes, I mean it's next level shorten your life kind of thing. And so they were panicked about it, but I didn't. I wanted everybody to know they were welcome here. And I didn't care if you were taking it, if you had type 2 diabetes or not, if you were battling obesity in any form, I wanted you to have it because I thought about my own self that if I would have had it when I was battling obesity, maybe I never would have. Well, I do have type 2 diabetes in my family. So there's that I had the hereditary piece. But it could have been a lot longer before, like my doctor would say, "You want to kick that can down the road," and maybe it wouldn't have shown up till I was like 80 or something. If I could have had the shot sooner when I was just starting to battle obesity in the very, very beginning, early stages, that would have been amazing. Um, and I'm glad now that the shortages are over because I'm not seeing people complain that their pharmacy doesn't have it anymore. Even Costco now can do a 3-month prescription where before they couldn't because they had a hard enough time keeping up with the demand. But now they can do 3 months even. And Paula says, that's true, Robin. A lot of those celebrities did not need to lose weight. They just wanted to be super skinny. Yeah, and it helped them get to that next part. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like my jeans. I just love these jeans. It's just so fun to wear jeans again and to buy pants again. And Paula said, I just bought a size I haven't worn in 22 years. Yay! Over the moon with excitement. That's exciting. Yep. And we're so happy about you getting married, Cindy, and you're going to look amazing. She says, we are in cowboy attire, no formal wedding dress, country wedding. Oh, I bet it'll be super cute. And Lisa says, I don't have any side effects. That's awesome, Lisa. And you're losing weight and you're doing great. Yeah, just because there are side effects to every medication has side effects, but it doesn't have side effects to everybody. If everybody got all those side effects, no one would buy those any drugs. Most people don't have any side effects, but every now and again you might get one. So they have to let you know that there's those possibilities. All right. I'm going to take my shot. Here's my 102nd shot. Now that I appear to be caught up with all of the comments. Let's see. I like to be sitting down. So I'm going to do, I haven't done 12 o'clock in a while. So I'm going to do 12 o'clock right up here. When you do your belly, you need to do at least 2 inches away from your belly button because right next to your belly button, um, the tissue there is more fibrous and you want to be hitting just your fat. So they say 2 inches away from your belly button or more. And so this is more than 2 inches. Next thing after you clean off, you want to take off the gray cap. If you do not take off the gray cap first and you turn to unlock it, you will break the shot. So always take that cap off first. There's a part where you can spin it around on the top here from lock to unlock. And I'm going to do that with it on my stomach. Oh yeah, more than 2 inches. I'm good. Twisting it now to unlock. And then you press and you hold listening for 2 clicks. Easy peasy. And didn't hurt a bit. Doesn't hurt at all. Okay. And oh goodness, sorry, I missed that one. And Robin says, yeah, abuse of the medication made it stereotyped. I've done another pound, 4 more to go, and I'll be at my goal weight. Oh my gosh, Robin, that is exciting. Okay. And Kay is determined, said, hi, Gina. Then away. Yeah, we've missed you. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas. What dose are you on now? 15 milligrams. I am now not in the diabetes level. Yay. So I am trying not taking my meds for a few minutes. Okay. I hope that works out great for you. And Kay says it's hot here in Australia. How about where you are? It is beautiful in Arizona. In Arizona right now, the highs have been in the 70s. It's just been lovely. Though our summers are hot, 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 hot. Almost every day is over 100 degrees, and a lot of them are over 10 or even over 115. But right now it is beautiful. And I'm glad you're having some good weather in Australia too. And it's nice to see you again, Kay, my friend from down under. All right, let's see who gets to wear the crowns this week. And Grant says, I hope everyone has a great Christmas. God bless you all. Absolutely. Uh, and Kay says, lucky you, we are enjoying the pool. Not warm enough for the pool now because it gets cold at night. It gets into the 40s and 50s at night. So our pools are too cold. But oh, and 34 degrees in Minnesota. Oh my gosh. So it's cold in the rest of the United States, but in Arizona and Florida right now, it is lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, let me find um, ah, here we go. I think it's this one. Well, let me click it. I want to see who's wearing the crown. Uh, it won't let me. It won't let me turn it. Ah, shoot. For whatever reason, I'll have to post it in the comments. So look on the or in the on my Anchor Moments channel, if you go to the full screen of the channel, so just in search, put Anchor Moments. There's a part that says posts right next to playlists. If you click posts, I will finally get my phone to work at some point here. I'll take a screenshot of the 3 people who win first, second, and third place. We're in the crowns this week for the most engagement on our show today, and I just want to wish you all no side effects on my 15 milligrams. It's just the same as the others, except for a little less. It's been helping me with my hunger. And that's it. It's been easy peasy being on 15 for me. All right. And Merry Christmas to all of you and happy holidays for those who celebrate other holidays other than Christmas. I look forward to seeing you. Hey, next Monday, I've got Maya coming back, the dietitian from Southwest Dietitian Group. She's coming back, and I'm really excited to have her back on. She's going to have some more stuff for the new year. Be thinking about your power word for the new year. And if you already know what your power word is going to be, please put it in the comments on the replay because I'm still trying to figure out my power word. I think I know what it's going to be, but I'm going to wait to make my final decision when it gets closer to January 1st. But I think I've got it picked out. But I would love to hear what your thoughts are of your power word for the year. And I just wish you all a wonderful Merry Christmas and a great night. Hold on to your anchor moments and make it a great day. Love you guys. Bye bye.